What's up guys, DJ back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about potential value versus current value. Now I think it kind of speaks for itself, but I wanted to make this video considering I've made quite a number of trades recently, and I think as I was making these trades it definitely came into my mind about what is potential value and current value, and what I should be thinking about. Should I do this trade? Should I not do it? And I think this is a question we ask ourselves every time we do a trade, and we just don't even see it. And I think it's important to think about, especially the potential value, considering we don't know what the potential value is going to be. And I think that is the huge difference between the two, and that's what makes us so scared to do a certain trade. In this video, I'll talk about a trade that I declined simply because of potential value, not because of the current value, because if I was going off current value, I think it was kind of a fair deal. So let's get into this video. Alright guys, just before we get started, make sure you enter my booster box giveaway. It is a Battle Styles booster box. I give booster boxes every time we hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel, so feel free to enter that giveaway if you want to. And consider liking the video if I helped in any way, shape or form. Hopefully it helps you kind of how it helps me as well at the same time. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so recently you've probably seen a video where I traded 3 booster boxes, these 3, for a Universal Onslaught booster box. Alright, oh sorry, the other way around. I got these 3 booster boxes in return for a Universal Onslaught booster boxes. Not to mention I also got some Neo Genesis cards, holographics, and as I said in that video, that was the deal breaker for that, for that deal to happen. Now, if you consider, I guess, potential value, I did say in that video that I think the Universal Onslaught has more potential than these 3 booster boxes, but I guess the Neo Genesis cards were something special to me as well. That's not to say that these don't have potential at all. I just think the potential for the Universal Onslaught booster box is a bit higher. So the current value we valued at that was $2,200. It's already on like $2,500 right now as I'm making this video. So that was like a week or 2 ago that I made this deal. So in saying that, it's already on the rise and it's continuing to rise. Some people are pricing it, maybe overpricing it for like $5,000. It's not there yet, but I do see the potential there, considering the Apex or Power card that comes from that booster box, that could potentially come from that booster box, is sitting on like a $10,000 card if graded a PSA 10. So, some cards from here, they have big hitters and they might be PSA 10 worthy, maybe $1,000, but nowhere near that Universal Onslaught booster box. So, and that is why I say the potential for that booster box is a lot greater than these 3. Sometimes quantity isn't always better than quality, and perhaps I made that mistake there. I'm not too sure yet. We're gonna have to see what happens. I like the deal, but at the same time, after making that deal, I'm not too sure about if you're talking about potential value, where's it gonna go? So the potential value for that box is still an unknown. These boxes are all out of print, so is that one. The Neo Genesis cards are definitely out of print, and they're a lot more, I guess, can be seen more rarer or scarcer than any of those boxes combined. So, at the end of the day, I ultimately think it's a good deal. It's just the potential for that box is a big one. So, one of the deals I'm going to share with you today is the Goku Awakened Power card that I have, the PSA 10 version. This one right here. So, I have a good friend of mine that really wants this card, and I think a lot of people do want this card. Some might say it is the most popular or most rare card in Dragon Ball Super. I would probably agree with popular. Rare card is questionable, simply because there are cards in Dragon Ball Super that some people don't really know about yet, but they are very similar to the trophy cards in Pokemon, whereas there's only like 3 or 6 in the world, So I think there's some championship cards from Dragon Ball Super that you could get for a little bit less than this card, but is a lot more rare. There's only like 14 ever invented in circulation. And if all 14 got graded, that's it. There won't be any more graded. So currently this pop report is sitting at like 200, 236, I think, for the Awakened Power. There's still more that I've seen in grading piles and stuff like that. So I think there will be more in circulation for these cards. But that's not to say, you know, this is not rare. It's still hard to get. The booster boxes are out of print. They're expensive too. So, you know, I can understand why this is. So the only real comparison I could really make for this card and to something I know is Pokemon, because I do Pokemon and Dragon Ball Super, as you all probably know. So with Pokemon, we all know the most popular set card and the most, I guess, at the same time, you know, popular and kind of rare is the first edition base set Charizard. In saying that, I don't think the Charizard and this card are the same. They're entirely not, but it's relatable. You know, Goku, the main character of the franchise for Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, or whatever, Ultra Instinct Goku is the main character, is the go-to character, most popular character. Charizard, very similar. Most popular, most sought after. The first edition, and in playing that, you know, this card is only 3 to 4 years old. The Charizard is like 25 years plus. Hard to get, booster box is expensive. Sound familiar? The pop report for that Charizard is somewhere between 200 and 300. I don't know exactly, but it's somewhere between there. So there is quite a number of those copies out there. And, you know, if you think back a couple years ago, that card was sitting at $55,000 in PSA 10 version. This card right here, right now that I showed you, is sitting on probably 10,000 USD. You know, easy. Like if we put this on eBay right now, I think it will sell for 10,000. Some people, like, you won't find it cheaper than $20,000 listed. All right, on eBay. Doesn't mean it's going to sell, but that's what it's listed for right now. So if you wanted to buy one in PSA 10 version, you might be spending anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000 Australian. Okay. So in saying that, you know, some people might say that's expensive and, you know, that's the current value. That is the current value for that card, right? And, you know, 3, 4, 5 years ago, that Charizard value, the current value for it then was $55,000. People thought that was too expensive. Some people thought it was cheap. Who knows if it was undervalued or whatever. But if you look at the time now, that Charizard is worth $350,000. Who was able to project that? I don't think anybody was able to just predict the future. Nobody can predict the future, and that is the hard thing about potential value, and something you got to really question yourself. Is it, how rare is this card? You know, will there be more out there, and will people always want this card? I think this card that I just showed you, the Awakened Power Goku, will be desired by many, many Dragon Ball Super lovers and collectors. It's pretty much Charizard in Dragon Ball Super. It's, you know, very popular. Everybody wants it. Hard to get. All right, the pull rates for that secret rare is hard. Okay, it's not easy. You can't just buy a box and open it and you're 100% going to get that. Chances are you're not. All right, so, you know, even with a pop report now, I think that's like 200. I don't think it's going to go past like even 1,000 or anything like that. Or, you know, I don't know how much they printed. I don't know how much is out there, but you can just kind of tell from pull rates how many boxes are out there. If you look on eBay for the Tournament of Power booster box, which is the box that came out of, you don't see many around. And if you do, it's in the thousands. Who's going to pay that? Rich people. People who want it, people who desire it, and it's the same thing for that, right? So I really think the potential value is not yet hit for that card, right? So that card, you know, less than 3-4 months ago was like $3,000, $5,000. It's in under a year's time, it's already nearly $10,000. Some people might say that growth is unstable, it's a bit scary, it's a bit frightening, and I will do a video on that in a general sense for Dragon Ball Super, because I think there is something there that we definitely need to talk about in regards to how fast these prices have gone up, and is that healthy? You know, in regards to Pokemon, there's 25 years growth there, and they've just been steadily on the climb up. Yes, they've seen huge growths over the last year or two, very similar to Dragon Ball Super, but I find it a little bit more healthier. I I'll save that for another video. Doesn't mean Dragon Ball Super is in danger. Don't worry, guys. You can keep collecting and buying or whatever you want to do. But yeah, I am a little bit skeptical on these price rises and how fast they've gone up. But that's not to say that this is the max price for this card. This is just the current value, all right? The current value. And the potential value, I think, is humongous. I think it's huge. I think, personally, I think it's going to be a very expensive card. It could possibly hit six figures in years' time. I'm not saying, it's going to continue to double and triple in price over months like it has been, because, we might see a slowdown, we might see a drop, we might see people just interested anymore, but you know what? It's kind of hard to believe. It's drawn in a lot of attention, Dragon Ball Super, much like Pokemon. These kind of things, they just don't die off. People are genuinely interested in these cards. They're genuinely interested in buying the products and stuff. So, as long as that genuine interest is out there, people are going to want these things. All right. So this card right now, current value is $10,000. My friend has offered me much more in current value. All right. So I'll tell you what he's offered me in trade, and you guys can let me know in the comment section. What do you think of this trade? Should I do this trade? Should I give this card to my friend for all these listed items, which I'll tell you about now? All right, so I've got the list in front of me, guys. Bear with me because there's a lot to go through, all right? So currently, the current market value for that card is about $10,000. I think he's given me well above that. But the reason why I declined this trade is because I think the potential for this card compared to whatever else he's giving me is higher and greater, considering that is the Grail card. And much like the Charizard, people thought 10,000, 20,000, it's all right, don't worry about it. It's sitting, some might say that card is worth $500,000. I honestly think it's about $350,000 for the Charizard, but, I think we could see similar prices to this card in later years to come. Now, I guess the only problem with that is the risk of that card just dropping or not being valued at anything anymore. But, if I'm happy to keep that card and just hold it and just, be happy that it's in my collection, it's not all about the money all the time. But let me get through this trade list, okay? So this is what he's offered me for this card. He's offered me a Primal Clash booster box, which is a Pokemon booster box, a Generations Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur box. That's the collection boxes that you might have seen in 2016. They're hitting about $1,000 for those 4 boxes combined. The Ultra Prism booster box, I did get one the other day with a trade, but he's offering me one as well. I did speak about that. It's got a potential for full out Lily waifu card, worth $1,000, PSA 10. But that box alone is probably worth $500 to $600. Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta SCR PSA 9. Okay, I should have pictures on the screen so you guys can know what I'm talking about. The Frieza Signature PSA 9. Okay, SBRS. Some people call it that, but that's pretty cool. Darkness Ablaze booster box. He's offered me 2 as well. So 2 of those. Furious Fist booster box. This is an XY booster box, out of print, long out of print. 4 raw secret rare cards from Dragon Ball Super. The Demigra, the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the Frieza army, and the, I can't remember the other one, but it should be on the screen as well. Neo Genesis cards, or Neo cards overall. He's offered me to give, he's offered his whole binder of Neo cards, which, let's just say, they're not complete, but there's a good chunk of them in there. All right, so these are all just raw cards, maybe some bulk, commons, uncommons, and maybe 1 or 2 holos in each Neo Genesis set. Then he's offered black and white cards. All right, so I think he's got Dark Explorers and another set completely finished completely, and then all these other random black and white sets. So they're also not fully complete. Maybe they're just 2 sets that are complete in there. He's offered me a Pikachu and Mewtwo Shining Legends pin box. Okay, so some of these items, for you Dragon Ball Super fans, you probably don't understand, you probably don't agree with. Even with the last trade that I did, these 2 Pokemon booster boxes and those Pokemon cards, some people will be like, that Universal Onslaught should not have been traded for that. But, I'm a cross collector, so I can understand Pokemon, I can understand Dragon Ball Super. And if you don't understand both, then it can be hard to justify being like, this is a lot of Pokemon stuff. it's not worth this, it's not equal value. Maybe not to you, but maybe to me. Anyway, keep going. My friend offered me a PSA 10 shiny Charizard from Hidden Fates. Okay, big card there. He's also a mechanic. I failed to mention that. He's offered to give me 2 free car services. He's potentially thrown in a Trunk signature card. I'm not sure what the grade is. It could be a 9 or a 10. A Sukun, whatever you want to call him, from Neo Rev. Alright, it's currently in PSA. He doesn't have that yet, but he's offered to give me that as well. He's offered me a CP3 booster box. Alright, CP3? CP6. CP3. CP6 booster box. That's a Japanese equivalent to Evolution's booster box, which is, I guess, the English one's sitting at $1,300. This Japanese one's sitting on about $3,000, okay? That booster box alone. He's offered me about 5-6 different booster boxes in this trade, okay? Along with all those secret rares and raw cards, graded cards. What else has he offered me? Okay, guys, so that is everything that is on offer, which is crazy. Like, he just keeps throwing me offers, and every time I say no, he keeps adding something to the deal, which is, I like the attention and all, but what would you do, guys? Would you do this deal? Definitely, whatever he's offering me is probably more than current value. Some of those booster boxes are like $500, $3,000 for one certain booster box. The Shiny Charizard is probably worth $2,000. There's a couple of signature cards in there. There's raw secret rare cards in there that are all grade worthy as well. Neo Genesis cards, black and white cards, car services. All right, so it's a big deal, okay? But I only said no simply because the potential value is unknown for this card, and I don't know what it's going to be. So, I know this is a bit of a funny video, but I think potential value is definitely something you should consider when doing a trade or even when a sale. If you're buying a card or you're trying to sell a card, before you're letting it go, before giving it up for trade, just think about it. A lot of people talk about regrets. Oh, I sold this card for $100, now it's worth $1,000. I probably shouldn't have sold that. I probably shouldn't have traded that. I think a lot of people have, it's happened before, right? So, I think it'd be something I'd kick myself over if I did this trade, and potential value and predictions for this card could be 6 figures. Could be, all right? I spoke to another friend of mine. He thinks that this card will hit 50,000 next year. And that's kind of crazy to think about. And, when you add up all the things that he's offered to trade me, they're great. It adds up to the current value of the card right now, but it definitely does not add up to the potential value. And all those little things, when you add them up, the potential value for those things aren't as high, all right? A lot of them have reached certain heights already. This card has not, all right? So, I know, it's crazy to think about, but potential value, you definitely need to worry about and think about. Probably not worry about, but, just consider it before you make a trade, before you make a sale, before you buy something, okay? What's the potential for this thing? So if you were investing in certain cards, maybe amazing rares or whatever like that, or, booster boxes, just random booster boxes, maybe consider what is the potential value for this booster box that I'm buying. Is there any cards there that I think will hold the box value, will increase the box value? So, people talk about, I don't know, certain boxes from back in the day, Steam Siege and stuff. Oh, it's worth $300. But how hard is it going to be to move that box? It's going to be super hard. Who's going to buy that box versus $300 worth of something else? Maybe they'll buy two or three Shining Fates ETBs. Maybe they'll invest in newer product that has more value, potential value than the Steam Siege booster box. Steam Siege booster box, I don't see growing any further than 300. 300 is already generous. If it does, who's going to buy it? It's just hard to know. Yeah, sure, the price has increased since it first came out, but what is the potential? The potential is not as high as something else. And that is what I'm trying to get at here. Sure, he's offered me plenty of really cool stuff, and I've been very tempted to do this deal. But I just think that the potential for this one card alone versus the 20 things that he's giving me is much higher. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know would you do this trade? And also, do you consider potential value as a legitimate thing? Because I know you shouldn't really be considering potential value, theoretically speaking, because that value is not real. It's potential. It's the future. Nobody knows the future. Nobody knows what it's going to be, but you can just have a rough guess on, where this could go. Anyway, guys, that is all. See you next time, 2-3 days time. Bye.